Disbelief, irreligion, withdrawal from God and His church were common. Our Lady came to warn and to plead, to call men back, to stir up their faith, and to induce them to pray and do penance. Only by prayer and penance can mankind's descent to calamity be averted. The third apparition in France was to Bernadette Soubirous. She was 14 in 1858 in Lourdes, France. To a very large degree, it is due to Bernadette that the doctrine of the Immaculate Conception, proclaimed by Pope Pius IX only 4 years prior, became widely known among the masses. It speeded and expanded both accurate comprehension and further devotion to the Immaculate Conception. The message was very clear. Mary said, "I am the Immaculate Conception." When you think about that, Jesus said, "I am the Son of God." She is the Immaculate Conception. Lourdes also included a thrice repeated message of penitence. Bernadette was also asked to pray for sinners, and she was encouraged to say the Rosary. Bernadette's life of prayer, faith, and humility are an example of holiness to us. She told Bernadette that she would not promise that Bernadette would be happy in this world, but that happiness would be waiting in heaven. Mary left a stream of water at Lourdes as a sign, and this stream is world famous for the cures that have been experienced from people bathing in it or drinking it. Mary requested a chapel to be built on the site where she appeared, and she wished processions to come there. Another faith challenge in our world has been ongoing for a long time. That's the Church's struggle with the Masons. In 1876 to 1902, the Masonic groups harassed the Holy See. Leo XIII exposed Freemasonry as mankind's hidden enemy in his encyclical Humanus Genus. He equated Freemasonry with the kingdom of Satan. Pope Clement XII was the first to prohibit Catholic membership in these lodges, and the prohibition has been restated by 7 popes, the last time in 1983 by Pope John Paul II, and it was also signed by our current Pope when he was a Cardinal Ratzinger. On October 13, 1884, Pope Leo XIII was given a mystical vision of the 20th century. In the vision, he saw Christ and Satan talking to each other. The devil asked Jesus for a century in which he could tempt the world, and the Lord gave him the 20th. This condition was granted, but Jesus also told Satan that he would eventually lose his power to the forces of heaven, especially through the intercession and protection of the Blessed Mother and St. Michael the Archangel. Moved by such a vivid experience, Pope Leo composed a prayer to St. Michael, imploring his protection and intercession against the forces of darkness. Since then, in the 20th century, we've seen hundreds of churches, all founded by men, challenging aspects of Roman Catholic Church. In the 20th century, the Church was persecuted by rising belligerents of anti-clerical and revolutionary parties, aided by the intrigue of the Freemasons. All these persecutions finally culminated in laws leading to the separation of church and state in Portugal in 1911. Senator Delpech, president of the Grand Orient in France, boasted on September 20th, 1902, "The triumph of the Galilean has lasted many centuries, but now he dies in his turn." In 1913, the Grand Orient of France admitted that the aim of the Grand Orient is to crush Roman Catholicism in France first and then elsewhere. Pope Pius X said, "You must understand the scope of Freemasonry. It is bigger than you think. It seeks to destroy the nature of the Church and in this way destroy her." By the time World War I began, European governments were dominated or heavily influenced by Freemasons. In 1914, Pope Benedict XV mourned the bloodshed of World War I, and pleaded for a quick end to the war, but he was not heard by the world. On May 5, 1917, Pope Benedict XV turned to the Blessed Mother's intercession, calling for a worldwide unity of prayer, asking that an appeal go up from every corner of the earth to the Most Holy Virgin Mary. 8 days later, she appeared in Fatima, Portugal. At Fatima, Mary outlined her plan of peace. At Fatima, Our Lady gave us the promise of the triumph of Mary. Jesus is present now in the world, his Sacred Heart beating with love in every tabernacle. But most of the world is not aware of it. The light from Mary's heart is going to change the world. The world is going to know that Jesus is there. The world is going to experience being lost in God and exclaiming, "O most Holy Trinity, I adore thee. My God, I love thee in the most blessed sacrament." And there will be an era of peace for all mankind. This is the future. Will we come to it through a catastrophe or through conversion? This is the choice facing mankind.